are these people?
Go to my website.
And at that website, there's also merch. So there's a button to pick up an INN t-shirt.
Buy my merch right quick.
Oh, check out that merch. Check it out. Oh, Reef's wearing a beanie. Look at that. Oh, he's heating up his dab rig right now. So yes, you can get an INN beanie over at the merch store too. You go to indienewsnow.com, click on the merch store, and you can pick up one for yourself. Another article from the Dissident this week, last Sunday, but thankfully this one did not come to pass. Marco Rubio was talking about and threatening to revoke the passports of Americans critical of Israel. That certainly made me sit up and take notice. Because now you're including me. And fuck you for that, little narco. So apparently that provision in whatever bill that was included to potentially give the Secretary of State the power to do that has been voted down. Thankfully. But I wanted to point out that in real time, while this was happening, the dissidents calling it out, letting people know about it so that action can be taken, protests and, people can be alerted to what's happening so it can be stopped before it becomes law instead of just a proposed bill. So thank you to him for letting people know about that. And again, he's taking this from a couple of different places there. The Intercept, we don't really like the Intercept, but they're fed stuff and sometimes they have, they're the people that break the news. All right. Then you have who's behind this bill. What a shock. It's Brian Mast and AIPAC, right? The biggest funders behind it. Trident Capital, Carlyle Group. We talked about the Carlyle Group before. Right. Times of Israel has described him as a zealous pro-Israel Republican who's volunteered with a group that assists the Israeli army. That's the dude with the fake legs, like Lieutenant Dan. This cat, this piece of shit, wearing his IDF uniform in the halls of Congress. He should be arrested. All right. He's garbage. We've talked about him plenty. I don't want to give him any platform, but he's the person introducing that.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Yeah. But what he wants to do is point out lessons from the UK. Look at how Rubio and the Trump admin will weaponize anti-terror legislation to crack down on critics of Israel. One only has to look to the UK as an example with their terrorism act. How they've been persecuting journalists and activists and grandmothers and people on disability for saying that they support Palestine action and that they oppose genocide. Insane, right? But that's what's happening. So the UK Terrorism Act, as Dissident is pointing out, makes it a criminal offense to say anything supportive of a, quote, proscribed terrorist organization, unquote, something that's repeatedly been weaponized by UK's authorities against critics of Israel, because they have deemed Hamas to be a proscribed terrorist organization. They've deemed Palestine Action to be a proscribed terrorist organization. Palestine Action has since disbanded, but apparently that doesn't make a difference if you support them. Supporting a non-existent organization is now deeming you a terrorist. In August of last year, British journalist Richard Medhurst, which we've covered extensively on this show, was arrested at London's Heathrow Airport for expressing an opinion or belief that is supportive of a proscribed organization over his reporting of critical of Israel's genocide in Gaza and overall of Israeli and Western wars in the Middle East. All right. And
right away.
He just goes through some of the people. So there's Sarah Wilkinson and Asa Winstanley. I think we've literally talked about all these folks. Palestine Action being proscribed as a terrorist group, right? And then you've got Francesca Albanese, which they literally put sanctions against her, which is insane.
Terror, terrorism, terror, terrorist, terror organization, terrorist attacks, terrorism, terrorist network, terrorist attacks, terrorist group, terrorist.
Yeah.
Dude, I could just go forever with that.
recapping all the people that were arrested for protesting. Here's the one where 466 people were arrested. Again, we've covered that extensively on this show, and it's nice to see this kind of recapped in a nice summary article. So if you want to tell somebody what's been happening in the UK, that's a great summary right there to be able to send. Number one, about what happened there and how they're now trying to accomplish the same thing here. Now, because of that, we're certainly not going to be remonetized. I was going to ask people that if you're able to and it means, please support the stream. Okay. The ways to do that are a Cash App, $ Indie News Network, at co-fi.com/Indie News Network. You got paypal.me/Indie News Network. Got IndieNewsNow.com. We're actually live over there now. We still host over there. We self-host. And then we've got the Substacks, INNewsletter.com, where we're going to be live later on tonight for boats smashing into other boats. And we're live right now at IndieMediaToday.com, where actually you see the newest name on the board. Darren Sweeney became a paid annual subscriber over at IndieMediaToday.com today. So thank you, Darren. I was able to get that up on the slide before we went live. And we really appreciate all the support to help us fund the media you want to see, pay our bills. We just got hit with a Canva bill last week. That was close to $300. We've got the Restream bill for almost $700 coming up later on this year. Zoom bill. And then there's the monthly subscriptions that we have. And again, this is what we need to do to be able to create content and make good shows. And, you know, Reef and Colin had a theme song made earlier, an all new look and creative. And that cost us a little bit. And we're helping Angel fund a laptop. And we also, hopefully, once we get that all paid, I'd like to do some mutual aid in the fourth quarter of this year. That would be really nice to be able to do. Love you all. Thank you for hanging out. Support independent media because we need it more than ever. We'll see you soon, fam. No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?